Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you are doing great. The Ninja just rolled out of bed, went for a cruise, grabbed a coffee. Sun is just coming up over the horizon right now, and yeah, I'm still waking up. All right, I got a story for you. I think it is great. Actually, this is absolutely wild to even think that this could happen, because I don't remember this ever reading about this happening in the 70s or the early 80s in relation to inflation. And I'm going to link the story below, and it's entitled "Revolution Has Begun: 75,000 Brits to Stop Paying Power Bills Amid Inflation Storm." Now, before I get into this, I want to explain, if you're reading this or you're watching this video and you're in America or you're in South America or you're in Australia, I want you to understand has to happen. This could happen anywhere, right? Every country right now is dealing with inflation. Every country is dealing with its currency absolutely crashing right now. There, let's fix the brohawk. But it's absolutely blows my mind, because a lot of people would sit there and they would go, hey, if you stop paying your power bill, they're going to cut off your power. Well, normally that's what would happen, right? But if so many people got together and did this, this is new territory. This would completely sink a utility company and in turn really hurt a government, because the government's going to have to bail out a utility company depending on how big they are, all right? If they're big, all right? This is just really, really interesting to me. So, okay, it says the resistance is growing as more than 75,000 irritated people in the UK have pledged not to pay their electricity bill this fall when prices jump again. Now, because they've got these rate increases going on, right? It's happening all over the world. It says 75,000 people have pledged to strike on October 1st. If the government and energy companies refuse to act, then ordinary people will. Together, we can enforce a fair price and affordable energy for all, tweeted the Don't Pay UK Twitter handle. An anonymous group spearheading the effort to have more than 1 million Brits boycott paying their power bill by October 1st. Now, let me stop here. This is really interesting, because it's obviously not happening this next month. It's a planned event because they want to garner enough or bolster enough support to where these utility companies stop raising the rates, right? This is mind-blowing to me. And actually, this could never have really happened before, because without social media and being able to actually share these views and garner, support, it really couldn't have happened until now, where people could all get on and look and go, oh, hey, look there's this group forming, and we're going to stop paying our bills on October 1st, right? And try and push back against big companies. This is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm going to link this story below so you guys can read it, but I just want to hit a couple of highlights right here. It says the strike comes as an inflation storm of high energy prices has obliterated household incomes. Brits are the most miserable in 3 decades as inflation is expected to hit 13%. And again, guys, little side note, that's government percentages. You know the reality of inflation over there is a lot higher than 3%. It says, and while the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey hiked interest rates the most in 27 years to tame inflation, risks are mounting of a recession. And it does blow me away, guys, real quick, that they did just absolutely blow out expectations about what they were going to do with the interest rate. And the BOE came in super strong. And it's even being talked about that they're going to possibly raise another time or one or two more times before we even get to raising rates. So they're getting super aggressive. It says on October 1st, the average household will pay, £300? With about 300 for a month of power, the BOE warned. Couple surging power costs with negative real wage growth, and it becomes apparent households are being squeezed. This excludes soaring prices for shelter, food, petrol at the pump. This trend is unsustainable and could result in social instabilities. And they are completely correct, because since wage growth is not keeping up or accelerating past inflation, which we all know that is not happening anywhere in the world, right? Inflation, real inflation, is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, while wage inflation is not happening. Even if your company gives you $1 an hour raise, it's not enough to keep up with the pace of inflation, right? And I've been telling you guys this. It's going to get worse and worse going into the fall. This is just absolutely mind-blowing. Now, it says the British news outlet Gasco Live said the strike is similar to the action in the late 80s and 90s to fight against poll tax, brought in by, at that point, Margaret Thatcher. In protest, 17 million people refused to pay. Now, that's interesting because it's different than what we're seeing now because of inflation, but really what, if you think about it, back in the late 90s, I'm sorry, in the 80s and 90s, there wasn't this way of reaching out to people through social media back then. And if they were able to get 17 million people back then to refuse to pay, can you only imagine what's going to happen? These news articles are just hitting the wire, right? You've already got 75,000 people saying, hey, we're not going to do it. Can you imagine in the next 30 days how many people are going to go, yeah, we're not going to do it either? I mean, that could absolutely bankrupt in 1 month. Think about how much reserves do the energy companies have to be able to pay their bills if they don't have any money coming in. You know, a lot of companies, they go, hey, you know, we're good. If like 3% or even let's say 5% of the people didn't pay, we've got enough reserves because we're, hitting all these other people super hard, or we can do rate increases. But if all of a sudden, let's say 20% or 25% of our customers do not pay, do we have enough money to stay alive, to stay afloat? We can't raise rates high enough because then the other 75% of our customers will stop paying. So this is an absolute game changer. And I want people to understand that times are changing super, super fast. And this September, October are going to have absolute fireworks. Now, the other thing I want to explain too is, we haven't ever really been covering Great Britain in the news. We've been talking about Germany, Spain, Italy, those countries in the Eurozone, but Great Britain, we have not been really talking about as far as inflation, but it's been hitting them super hard too. It's just now all of a sudden we're starting to see headlines like this come out, and then we're going to start to see them outside of the Eurozone, and we already see them in America. My point being is this: it's getting worse. Get prepared. This isn't the time to be buying frivolous stuff. Let's go and have some real fun with this. And when I say fun, what I mean is there are about to be a lot of sales after this craziness, this peak insanity, which I believe is going to happen before the year 2023 starts, okay? This fall is going to be absolute fireworks. And when we're prepared to pounce, we're going to be able to take advantage of it. All right, guys, with that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.